Do you like cats? Do you know somebody who is drawn to cats, like a moth to the flame? For thousands of years, humans have worshipped cats, feared them, burned women for keeping them. We've called them sacred. We've called them demonic. We've blamed them for plagues, for lust, for madness. We've tied them to sex, hysteria, and even the end of the world. In ancient Egypt, killing a cat could mean death. In medieval Europe, kissing one was proof you served Satan. Today, we let them sleep beside our faces on our pillows. We stroke their fur. We breathe their breath. We trust them in the dark. And somewhere inside nearly half of all human brains, there might be a parasite that can only reproduce inside a cat. So here's the question. Did we domesticate the cat? Or did they domesticate us? Or are they a vessel for something else entirely?
Welcome back to Let's Get Haunted with your host,
Nat Strawn
and Allie. Welcome back, Haunties, to episode 248 of Let's Get Haunted. It is now your third episode of season 8. Thank you all so much for joining us. It is freezing in our studio right now, so that is why I'm bundled up. If you're watching the video version of this week's episode, Nat, where can they watch the video version of this week's episode?
You can watch anywhere there is available media. We are on Spotify video. We are on YouTube. Let's Get Haunted. We are maybe even transmitting into your brain through some sort of hypnosis. But right now, Spotify and YouTube are the best places to watch us.
You prefer the audio only version, but you would still like to see the videos and photos that we reference during each and every episode. You can head over to our Instagram at Let's Get Haunted, and that is where we post an accompanying photo dump that has anywhere from 10 to 20 images and videos that we talk about during the episode. And it's a good time. Definitely go follow us on Instagram if you're not already. We have a lot of fun over there. We post lots of fun reels and carousels and photo dumps and memes.
Yep.
And it's a really fun way to commune with other like-minded, freaky people. Mm-hmm. Now, Nat, I just heard that hook that you recorded, and I am very interested to see what you have in store for me today, because I don't think we've ever done an episode about a particular animal that is real. Mm-hmm. We've covered lots of cryptids, we've covered lots of monster stories, weird folklore from different cultures, but a cat is like a real tangible object / pet that you could have in your own home right now. I'm sure many people listening are looking at their cats right now, kind of giving them the side eye, wondering what's going on here. Mm-hmm. What inspired you to choose this topic?
Girl, I don't know. I just want to, okay, let me just start with this fucking disclaimer here. This episode is absolutely going to trigger some of you guys into psychosis, okay? So just please listen or watch with care and a safe buddy, preferably a nerd who is also a skeptic. Do not react to this episode is what I'm saying. Don't let it take up space in your heart, because you're never going to escape its grip. I certainly haven't. And if this topic is already intriguing you and perhaps sending a shiver up your spine, then you need to leave this place immediately before it's too late for you, because I think it's too late for me. I realized as I was writing this episode, okay, as we start getting into it, I wear cat ears. I do cat eyes. Alyssa and I used to go to raves, and I called myself DJ Cat Nat. Was I a DJ? No. Was I a cat? No. I don't know why that was my rave name, but it was, and I would wear cat ears and do a whole cat thing. And now I'm like looking back on all that shit, and I'm like, fuck, man, am I actually... Okay, let me...
Haunted by cats?
Yeah, haunted by cats. Let me get into this episode. So basically, what possessed me to write this episode, I don't know. It might have been cats, okay? So I need everyone to calm the fuck down, because I am not calm. And so you guys need to balance me out. My dad and mom are actually in town visiting right now. They're helping me with some childcare. And my dad was talking to me the other day about like some parasite that cats carry. And I just fucking spun off the rails like season 1, like up at 3 a.m. doing heavy research, creating quite possibly misinformation. But there are peer-reviewed studies and journals in here that I've like kept in all of the sources. So you guys. And also my nails. I try to do claws like cats. So I don't know what's going on, but let's start. Let's start. And I also want to start this episode by saying I grew up with a cat. His name was Meow. He was a feral cat that my grandmother found in her garage. He was the last one to get caught. So like all the other kittens went to different homes, but this one like couldn't get caught because he was too much of a bitch and would bite and claw the fuck out of you. And so he like grew up in the garage and was like feral. And finally I got him when I was a kid. I was like, I don't know, maybe 5 or something. And that bitch clawed the fuck out of my arms. Like he would bite your wrist and just rake the back of your like forearm with his little legs and stuff. I mean, he was a fucking fuck. But I say that because I don't want anyone to think that I'm not pro cats. I am pro cats and I had a feral one for a long time. So we're going. Okay. Let's start with Egyptian cat worship, okay? The ancient Egyptians worshipped cats for thousands of years. Why? Because for the ancient Egyptians, cats embodied divine, protective, nurturing qualities, and some deities in the ancient Egyptian pantheon were even cat goddesses. Beyond religious significance, cats were valued for their practical qualities as household companions. They literally protected homes from like venomous snakes, as well as disease-carrying and otherwise crop-destroying rodents and pests that could cause famine or make you go broke. Cats were also considered magical creatures and symbols of grace and stealth. They were often associated with the sun god Ra, as their behavior, such as napping in the sun, was linked to solar power. And too long to explain, you guys. We don't have time to go into how the pyramids might be fucking transmitting solar power and spires are giving us unlimited energy. If you guys want to go do some research on that, go for it. But I just do not have time to get into that today. Okay. Because of their sacred nature, in ancient Egypt, killing a cat, even accidentally, was a capital crime, often punishable by death. So anytime an ancient Egyptian would find, quote unquote, find a dead cat, perhaps accidentally kill a cat, they would go really far away from the animal and have this like very dramatic mourning session to show how upset they were by it and how they had found this dead cat, because you don't want to be on the hook for killing the cat. And they would shave their eyebrows off to mourn the cat. And the entire time the eyebrows were growing back was the mourning period. So once your eyebrows came back, your mourning period of a cat was over.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't this like fascinating? Okay. I feel like with human mourning, it can just go on forever. You know, you can grieve for a really long time and it can get really messy and really fuck up your life. So starting by fucking up your life by shaving off your eyebrows and being like, okay, now I'm in control of fucking up my life. This death does not affect me, you know? And then they grow back and like, not only are you done mourning, because it's like no one mourns like after the mourning period. Like, come on, get a move on. Like, we got to keep going. You also have your eyebrows back. So it's like a new chapter.
I feel like it's also kind of a smart way to let other people know to steer clear of you. You know, like you shave your eyebrows off, you look insane, and everyone sees you walking around. They're like, oh no, that person is in mourning. Like, let's give them space and grace to be absolutely insane. Yeah. Like, they look insane. Their behavior's insane because they're going through something. Right. And maybe like instinctually, some of that still remains. Like if you see, I was thinking about this earlier today, like, if you and your partner break up and your partner gets bangs or shaves off their eyebrows, perhaps, it's over. You know, like it is over. You are not getting that person back. They're like done. Symbolically letting everyone know I am on to the next chapter. And that's so, funny. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, wait, side tangent here, guys. Sorry about this, but I actually just shaved off my eyebrows. Like, oh my God, look, I did it.
What are you talking about? I can see them.
Well, I shaved the tip off. So these are called Spock brows. So like normally your eyebrows go down on the side, like make an arch. I just shaved that off. And then I use a an eyeliner pen to extend it out to like make them flat and go out more.
Oh, they look great. I didn't even notice.
Thank you. I think so too. I feel like it was like instantly a facelift. I just got really creative like last year with these little dermaplaners. They're like razors that you razor your eyebrows or like razor the top layer of your skin or like take peach fuzz off or whatever. And at first I was so careful and I was like cutting the fuck out of my face. Like I always had like little like scratches above my eyebrows and stuff. And now I'm so clean with it. Like I can go in my nostril and just like get all the hair out.
Whoa.
You guys, I have taken grooming to the next level. Is that another cat thing?
Like a cat. Yeah, like a cat. This is also reminding me of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when Dennis's ex-wife is using his alimony money to turn herself into a cat.
Objection. She's not a cat, Your Honor.
And she like, and by the end of her life, because she ends up dying eventually as the seasons go on, because she like jumps off of a building because she full on thinks she's a cat, and like her face is like so I don't know. She gets like all of these sculpted like a cat. She gets like these implants to make it look like she has these puffy little cheeks where like hairs come out of.
Dude, I have not seen
incredible.
That season. That must be
incredible.
Yeah, I need to watch that timeline.
Yeah, the final, the episode where she dies is a do you remember that Netflix show Making a Murderer with Stephen Avery? I think his name was, and like it's all about that case where he may not have murdered this person, maybe he did. Mm-hmm. And so there's a Making a Murderer episode where Dennis is the subject of the documentary and his ex-wife, the cat, died from jumping off a building, and they're like trying to figure out if it was him or not. And she, it's like she had his hair in her stomach, and he's like, well, yeah, she thought she was a cat, so she said that I didn't have to pay as much alimony if I let her lick me. Like, it's not weird, guys. She's a cat.
I love that though. You know, like he was supportive of her in the divorce, right? Like here's your alimony.
His own fucked up Dennis way. He was trying to do a nice thing for a cat.
Hi, I'm Nat. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes it can feel like everyone has it together in their love lives. Whether you're married, dating, single, maybe even dead in the afterlife. The truth is that most of us are still figuring it out and finding our way. And no matter where you are in your romantic journey, therapy can help you identify what's weighing you down in your personal life, whether you're having a relationship with someone else or yourself, whether it's for you as an individual or for a pairing. Therapy can help you find ways to remove blockers in your relationships. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so that you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire will help identify your needs and preferences, and their 12 years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from the tailored recs. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. And it works, with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. That's a lot of reviews. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/gethaunted. That's BetterHelp.com/gethaunted. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And now back to getting haunted. God, okay. So going back to ancient Egypt, hundreds of thousands of cats were mummified and buried in dedicated cemeteries to act as messengers to the gods. So Allie, if you open up your Dropbox, you will see there is a photo of the cemetery at Bastet. I might be saying that wrong. I did a lot of research on this episode of how to pronounce things, but that one I just like assumed I had it. I was like, you know what? This is Bastet. That's the cats. They're telling me. I got this shit.
Okay, I'm seeing Bastet Cemetery.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so what I'm looking at, guys, it kind of looks like a rock formation you might see in a desert environment such as the Grand Canyon or Utah or something, but I'm assuming this is Egypt.
Yes.
And there are all of these little holes that are either natural formations in the rock or perhaps carved into the rock. I'm not sure. Maybe you're going to tell me. But it looks a little bit like a piece of coral almost like a giant piece of coral. And yeah, there's just all these little tunnels, these little circular tunnels that are dug into the rock.
So a lot of those had mummified cats in them. I mean, their cats were not the only sacred animal to the Egyptians. There were also like bulls and crocodiles and falcons and ibis, which is a type of bird. So, but cats were venerated, like, I think, way beyond any of the other animals, or at least there was just more instances for them, maybe because there were just more cats around. I don't know. Girl, I wasn't in ancient Egypt, okay? I read some documents on the internet. I don't fucking know, bro. But that is a cemetery. Like, all those little holes are where those cats were in. And if you look at the other photos of the mummified cats, you can see mummified cats. And if you guys don't have the video up here, that's okay. Just picture a fucked up looking cat.
This is, you know what it looks like? It looks like a Stanley thermos that is painted, painted with, like that. That's exactly what it looks like. Natalia's holding up her Stanley thermos. It's like a pale pink, but it's exactly like that. It just doesn't have a handle. What I'm looking at with these cats, it looks like a tube or cylinder or vase. Maybe picture a vase, guys. Maybe that's more universally understood. Picture a vase, but then the top of the vase has a lid, and the lid has like a paper mache head of a cat on top. And then around the body of the vase or vessel, it's wrapped in different patterns, I guess is the easiest way to describe it. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these cat mummies, and they just look like thermoses.
Do you see the one that says ancient cat mummy at Saqqara?
Let me look. Ancient cat mummy?
It's a different kind of mummy. Yeah. So the ones that I showed you before were kind of like in these clay jar or whatever. But this one, you want to describe this one? This is... This is less dignified, I think. The intention was there, but the execution many years after the fact looks a little bit strange. So what I'm looking at here is something that I would imagine Ed Gein has in his house, where there is like the dead body of a cat, the corpse of a cat, but it's wrapped in leathers or something, and they've like sewed onto... You can see the form of the body. Whereas in the previous one, it literally looks like the cat was shoved into a vessel so that they all kind of look like the same width and height, more or less. This one, you can see like the contours of the corpse through its wrappings, and then they've sewed this like leather or burlap sack hood over the head of the cat, and then drawn rather poorly, I apologize to the ancient Egyptians, but rather poorly, the face of a cat on top of the burlap sack. And it does look like, you know, the horror movie The Strangers, where they show up to your house wearing sacks or masks on their head, or Jason from Friday the 13th, and he has a burlap sack on his head with like, just with a poorly, crudely drawn face on top of it. I don't like it as much. Yeah. It doesn't seem fit for a cat. Because you're right, when you think of a cat, we do think of, you know, gracefulness, aloofness, mysticism. Whereas when you think of a dog, you're like, oh, my sweet dog, he's a fucking idiot, but he loves me. You know, all his
a cat,
cards
you
are on
don't
the
really...
table.
Yeah.
Cat never shows their hand.
Exactly right. Yeah. A dog, you know what they're thinking at all times. 90% of the time, it's that they want a snack. The other 10% of the time, they want a walk.
Yeah.
A cat, it's less clear what they want.
Know.
And so there's like a veneer that is hard to crack when you are looking at a cat. What are they really thinking? What are their motives? We don't know. But when you look at these vessels that the cats have been placed in, I feel like the thermos jug is more reminiscent of the mystery of a cat, whereas this one that you've shown me with the burlap sack and the crude drawing is like, I don't think that cat is resting at peace. I think it feels a little bit miffed that it didn't get the cool vase.
Right. That one might be like a lion or a tiger, but the sentiment still stands the same, okay? It's got pointy ears and meows and a tail, so that's a cat to me. All right.
Yeah.
So cats weren't unique in their sacred status in the Egyptian culture, but they were part of this broader cosmology that the ancient Egyptians lived by. However, the ancient Egyptians' love of cats was so well observed in the ancient world that in the Battle of Pelusium in 525 BCE, the invading Persians painted the image of Bastet on their shields and had hundreds of cats and other sacred ancient Egyptian animals walking in front of them. And it worked. Like the Egyptians were like, oh fuck, like it's our cat god drawn on their shield. Bastet is their cat god, and they've got all these fucking cats and bulls and like sacred animals in front of them. Like this is a no-go situation. We just got to turn and run, because like if I fuck up one of those animals, then I'm like punishable by death anyways. It's a capital crime. So, or do I risk like upsetting Bastet, like the feline goddess, who we're going to talk about in a second. And so they literally ran. They just like let their city get smashed by the Persians, which, okay, don't even throw me on a spiral where I go into there is a fucking Persian cat either, guys. Do not.
Hey, don't fucking look at me like that. That's a weird looking fucking cat.
Do not make me make that association right now. So then when the Romans conquered Egypt, they saw how useful cats were in protecting crops from vermin, and they brought cats with them to Europe. More on that later, though. Let's talk about the cat goddesses. So there were several major Egyptian gods that were associated with felines, but we are going to talk about 3 of the big ones today. The first is Bastet. This is the most famous cat-headed goddess, representing protection, fertility, and the home. If you can open up the Dropbox, you'll see the Bastet photos. There's 2 of them in there.
Yes. So this first one that I'm looking at has a picture of what appears to be a statue of Bastet. And there's some text on this image. It says, Bastet, woman with the head of a cat. Bastet was a protective goddess. Bastet was usually seen as a gentle, protective goddess. She sometimes appeared with the head of a lioness to protect the king in battle. The cat was a symbol of Bastet, and Bastet was one of the daughters of the sun god Ra. And then this statue that I'm looking at, yeah, I mean, picture a woman in a maxi dress that's more like a bodycon maxi dress, and then she has the head of a cat, literal head of a cat.
Right.
And then she's holding what looks like maybe is an ankh or something. Yep. I'm not quite sure because it's a little bit blurry. And then at her feet, there are tiny statues of 4 cats. And then the second one that I'm looking at is just a zoomed in version of the head of a Bastet sculpture. And again, just picture a black cat, pointy ears, pointing straight up. And the cat is wearing gold jewelry. So a gold septum piercing, it appears, sleigh. And then
this
gold
is a
hoop earrings, also a sleigh.
To me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
I could see this being in someone's apartment that lives
Smash
in Portland,
or pass
for sure.
on the sexy cat head goddess?
Pass, because I think anything that looks that animal-like, for me, I mean, that seems like you're gonna be committing bestiality. That's just my personal opinion. I think when you're talking about gods and goddesses that have animal-like qualities, like Zeus, I believe, would appear as a different, I think a ram or something sometimes, and like would come down and have sex with humans and then create demigods from that copulation. And I always wonder, like, you're weird. The lady that had sex with Zeus while he was looking like a bird or a beast of the land, that's strange. I think in order for it to not be strange, it's got to be like an Edward Jacob situation where they are a werewolf or a bat, but you're having sex with them in their human form. Yeah,
a shifter. There are some rules when it comes to paranormal romances. Like, you enter a different genre if your like main characters are having any sort of physical relations with an animal that's like actually not a shifter. Like it's a totally different genre. However, I don't like if I was contacted by this cat goddess and like from the neck down she a 10, from the head up she's a cat, I would be like, girl, put a bag on it. I don't know. Like, what are we supposed to do here? Because this is literally a god. Like, is it worth like fucking up my luck forever? Like, am I gonna get like, into the Illuminati now? Like, what is this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the rule is it has to be doggy style, and they have to be behind you.
What's
because
cat
you can't
style,
be cat style. Yeah, what is cat style? Just screaming the whole time? Like just literally go into an alley and scream the entire time?
Yeah, like you're just like rounding your shoulders like on all fours, like you're just gonna choke up hair and shit, and then you like go in a litter box and fucking piss in a hole or whatever. I actually do really like that about cats though. It's like they like go in the litter box. To me, I don't know what to do with that. Like, that is unhinged to me, that behavior. It's like, it's so weird. You get a fucking cat. Dude, Allie, have you ever had a cat?
Okay, so when I was very, very young, so I have no memory of this, I was a literal baby. My brother and dad found a cat, like an abandoned feral cat on the streets, and it was a kitten, like brand new kitten, was not going to survive on the streets. And so they brought it home and kept it, and my brother named it Race Car. And then when it got like old enough to be able to be adopted out, my uncle ended up taking the cat. My uncle is such a character. He had pet possums and raccoons and the cat Race Car and had birds, and like he was sort of like a Disney princess, but if a Disney princess was also a Hell's Angel, like just like perpetual bachelor that had a super long beard and was a welder and rode a motorcycle and lived alone in a shack with all of the vermin creatures of nature. They just flocked to him.
I'm obsessed with that. Wow.
Yeah,
really
he's amazing. I love my uncle. I won't name him because I have not asked him in advance if I can talk about him on our weird show. And so probably not going to do that. But yeah, very, very cool person. And yeah, we had a cat. His name was Race Car. I don't remember him very much, or at all, actually, to be honest with you. I don't remember Race Car at all. But yes, we did have a cat at one point.
It is weird how intelligent they are. Like, I don't know what the fuck their problem is, because you get one, it has no formal training. Like, it's literally just a cat you put in your house, and you just take a box and fill it up with litter or sand, and it like automatically goes to there. And everyone's like, well, that's because they're trying to they're trying to get rid of their scent. They're trying to bury their scent. Like, it's just nature. Bitch, why the fuck is it going in the litter box? Why isn't it digging a hole in the sofa or some shit? It's like, I don't know. I think they've just got something going on. Okay, I texted you a video link to a video about SEKHMET, who is a lion-headed goddess of war and healing, representing the fiercer side of feline nature. And you're just going to watch from 1 to 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. But shout out the name of the channel.
So this video was uploaded by Moon Books Publishing 3 years ago to YouTube. The title of the video, for anyone looking for it, is SEKHMET, Lady of Flame, Eye of Ra, an introduction to the ancient Egyptian goddess of war. So I'm going to go ahead and push play at the 1 minute mark.
It was not just thankfulness for these gifts that made her cult popular. The SEKHMET inspired great fear and needed to be appeased to ensure her blessing. She was a bloodthirsty warrior goddess who brought death, fear, and suffering. SEKHMET, therefore, represents ancient human fears which continue to affect people across the globe today. It is SEKHMET's wild, terrifying, and untamed nature that many find so intriguing. She is a goddess of contradiction, sovereign over violence and sickness, as well as patron of healing and protection. She is truly the mighty one. Today, SEKHMET often bears the title Goddess of Healing, relegating her to this specific realm of influence. Ancient Egyptian deities, as with many other ancient pantheons, were extremely complex, with powers intersecting with numerous aspects of life and death. Identifying Sekhmet as goddess of healing implies that this was her primary area of concern and divine occupation. It is true that many of her priests were also doctors, and that people often pray to her for healing. However, numerous ancient texts also describe her as the cause of the disease in the first place. Many prefer to emphasize her healing attributes, which is completely valid, but it is vital that we recognize her dangerous aspects also, as the unleashed manifestation of female rage and nature's destructive forces.
Slay.
Yeah.
So basically, this video is talking about what this cat goddess was thought to be able to do. So people would pray to the cat goddess to be healed, but it was also thought that the cat goddess caused your affliction in the first place. So thereby ensuring she will always be in business, baby.
Right. Smart business.
She was like the original big pharma because she's making sure you're sick, but she's also your only hope to feel better.
God, anytime you say a trigger word, I just like spiral. Like it's like big pharma, and my like mind is going through like this Rolodex of conspiracies that I've researched, and I'm like, shut up, bitch! Like we're not talking about that one right now. Okay, yeah. So I want you to hang on to that sentiment about the healer or causer. We don't know. Okay. Now we're going to watch the next unhinged thing. And the last episode I did, I talked about the haunted sphere versus like the normal sphere. A lot of the stuff we're talking about up until this moment was normal sphere. And now we're going to descend into the haunted sphere. And so once again, you guys, some of you guys aren't going to be able to handle this. Like, just back away right now, okay? This is a video called Is Bastet Calling You? Signs of the Egyptian Cat Goddess. This one is the one that made me get haunted and start rethinking my whole life. But I actually love her channel. She's just like really into cats. Her channel is called Bastet Priestess, and she just makes videos about Bastet. And she also responds to a bunch of comments, and I'll read some of her comments that she responds when we finish the video. So you're just going to you're going to start at 123.
The name of this video is titled, Is Bastet Calling You? Signs of the Egyptian Cat Goddess. And then, if it's okay, I'm going to read part of this description because I feel like this is so LGH coded. The description of this video is, do you feel a strange connection to cats? Are you inexplicably drawn to ancient Egypt? These could be signs that Bastet, the powerful cat goddess, is reaching out to you. Okay, I'm pushing play. I'm ready to get so haunted and weird with it.
Signs Bastet might be calling you. The most obvious sign, and perhaps the most delightful, is the presence of cats. Bastet is, after all, the revered cat goddess, and her connection to these furry companions is undeniable. Have you noticed cats popping up everywhere you turn? Maybe you see sleek black cats strutting across your path on your morning walk. Perhaps you find yourself inexplicably drawn to cat videos online, spending hours watching their antics.
You guys, I'm pausing for a second because right now what I'm seeing on the screen as I'm watching this video is just a montage of cats fading in and out, but it's like modern cats, right? And so some of them are so chunky. Some of them look so derpy.
Yeah, some of them are like, Can I Has Cheeseburger Cat? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm pushing play again.
Or maybe, just maybe, a lost feline friend appears on your doorstep, meowing for attention with eyes that hold a strange, knowing glint. Don't dismiss these encounters as mere coincidence. Bastet, the playful goddess, might be using these furry messengers to get your attention. Perhaps she's sending you a nudge, a reminder of her watchful presence, or maybe even an invitation to open your heart and home to a feline companion of your own. Increased interest in ancient Egypt. Now, the next sign might seem a little less obvious, but trust me, it can be just as powerful. Have you found yourself inexplicably drawn to documentaries about pharaohs and pyramids lately? Maybe you're flipping through channels and suddenly find yourself engrossed in a program about ancient Egyptian life. Or perhaps you're browsing online and find yourself captivated by the intricate beauty of hieroglyphics, those mysterious symbols that whisper stories from a long, long time ago. This newfound fascination with ancient Egypt could be more than just a passing fancy. It could be Bastet, the cat goddess, with deep roots in this rich culture, piquing your interest in her world. She might be subtly nudging you to learn more about her, to unlock the secrets of her mythology, and understand the role she played in the lives of the most ancient Egyptians. So don't resist this curiosity. Delve deeper. Explore the fascinating world of Bastet and her fellow deities. Who knows? The more you learn, the stronger the connection you might feel with the playful cat goddess. Dreams and visions. Now, the world of dreams can be a fascinating and mysterious place, and sometimes it's where Bastet chooses to send her most potent messages. Have you recently had vivid dreams that linger in your mind long after you wake?
It just zoomed in on a picture of a cat that's like looking straight down at the person taking the photo. Oh,
Okay.
some of these are so cute.
This is for you, though, Allie. This one, you're sus. Keep listening.
Perhaps you dreamt of a sleek black cat, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly golden light. Maybe you encountered a powerful female figure radiating warmth and authority, yet somehow familiar. These dreams could be symbolic messages from Bastet herself. Pay close attention to the details, the emotions you felt in the dream, the actions that took place, and any specific symbols that stood out. A black cat could represent protection or independence, while golden eyes often symbolize wisdom and guidance. The female figure, of course, could be Bastet herself, offering a glimpse into her divine presence. Don't dismiss these dreams as mere fantasy. Write them down, analyze the details, and see if any recurring themes emerge. They might hold a key to understanding Bastet's message and the connection she's trying to establish with you. Feeling a strong connection to cats. Do you feel a deeper bond with your feline companions, or an inexplicable urge to adopt a cat? This heightened connection could be Bastet fostering your love for these special creatures. A draw to protection and healing. Bastet is known as a protector and a healer. Are you going through a difficult time and suddenly feeling a desire for more protection or a sense of inner healing? Bastet might be offering her support. Signs and symbols. Keep an eye out for recurring symbols associated with Bastet. This could be the image of a cat, the Eye of Ra, which Bastet is sometimes linked to, and even the number 9, considered sacred to her. Connecting with Bastet. So you've experienced some of these signs. What can you do next? Research Bastet. Learn about her mythology, roles, and symbolism. The deeper your understanding, the stronger the connection you can build. Create a sacred space. Dedicate a small area in your home to Bastet. Place a statue,
Do it, Allie.
picture, or offering dish. Catnip or small toys works well. Meditation. Use visualization techniques to connect with Bastet. Picture yourself in the temple of Bastet, surrounded by her warmth and protection. Gratitude. Express your gratitude to Bastet, whether silently or through prayers or offerings. Honor your intuition. Trust your gut feeling. If you feel a connection or a pull towards Bastet, listen to it. Now remember, the signs Bastet sends can be as subtle as a fleeting feeling or as powerful as a vivid dream. The key is to be open to the possibility of connection, to pay attention to the nudges and whispers of your intuition. Bastet isn't a demanding goddess. She's playful, mischievous even, and her love is as warm and comforting as a cat curled up on your lap. If you open your heart to her presence, she might just become your perfect companion on your journey. Imagine her as a wise and playful guide, walking beside you with a knowing glint in her golden eyes. She can offer protection when you need it most, a gentle nudge in the right direction, and a reminder to embrace life with joy and feline grace. Share your stories in the comments below. If you found value here, please share.
All right, I am pausing the video now. So for those of you who are not aware of the LGH lore, let me tell you why Nat was saying that one of these directly relates to me. A number of years ago, I was asleep.
I'd say pretty recently.
Was it recently? No, because I was living in, I can picture the house I was living in. And so this would have been at most recent, it would have been 2022. So I was laying in bed, and at the time I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, and I was just couldn't sleep. And I'm laying there, and I flip over, and I stare into the corner of my bedroom. It's very, very dark. And I see in the corner of the bedroom, the outline of an eye that later I Googled and figured out looks a lot like the Eye of Ra. And it was just floating there in the corner of my bedroom, kind of bobbing up and down, looking at me. And I remember looking at it and just being like, all right, there's nothing I can do about this. There's literally nothing I can do about this. And so I was just staring at it for a little bit, and then I literally flipped over in my bed and just went to sleep.
Oh my God.
And here's Now, here's the interesting thing. So Nat is now holding up an evil eye, which for those of you who don't know, I believe is called the Eye of Nazar. It's a like Persian, Turkish, Armenian, Greek symbol, that area of the world.
Mediterranean.
And people use it to ward off negative energy or bad spirits. Or in Italy, there's this idea of the evil eye, which is if somebody sees you having a good time, they might unintentionally curse you because they're jealous. Like, oh, how come that person got married, or how come that person got a promotion at work? And so that kind of negative energy can then accidentally curse you or make you have bad luck for a period of time. So some people will hold these talismans, and one of them is the Eye of Nazar or the evil eye. But anyway, going back to the Eye of Ra that I saw in my bedroom, this was not too long after Nat had done an episode on this show about sleep paralysis. So at the time that I saw this eye in the corner of my room, my first thought was, I'm having sleep paralysis. The problem with that is that I was not paralyzed, number one, and number two, I was not asleep. So I don't know. To this day, I do not know. It was just a weird thing that happened to me, and I talked about it on this show and was like, what do you guys think this was about? And I think everyone pretty much ignored it and was like, we don't know. Let's move on because we don't know.
New theory unlocked. It could be the Bastet cat bitch.
It could be.
Calling you. Maybe she was looking you over and was like, is she having a rough enough time that she's ready to get a cat? Like, let me see if I want to send one of my cats this way. Because they say, like, if she's coming to you, cats will come around you, or you'll find yourself taking like a stray cat home, or someone will be like, hey, will you take this cat? You know?
Very interesting. Yeah. And again, not long after that, my neighbor's house did burn down. So again, looking back, was the eye warning me that the neighbor's house was going to burn down? Or did a cat goddess burn down their house because they weren't receiving her messages?
Yeah.
We may never know. But
Or
maybe
was
we will know by the end of this episode.
Was she looking? She was like, okay, there's going to be a fire. We're going to purge the cats out of this person's house because they're not hitting, they're not giving catnip, they're not dangling strings. We need a new house. And like, she was checking you out, and then maybe she saw your dogs and was like, no, this is not a cat house.
It could very well be. I still don't know what that was about, but I'm excited to learn more about this Egyptian goddess to see if anything kind of rings true in my life.
So someone commented underneath that YouTube video, and I just want to cover this little comment for 1 second before we move on. At Jackie Perez 2885, 4 months ago, said, a couple of months ago, I wanted a house cat. I went through a tough breakup. I've been seeing cat videos on my phone. Lo and behold, one of my coworkers offered me one of her cats because she couldn't keep it anymore. I think it was Bastet that gave me a cat as a blessing. Blessed be. Aww. And then the creator responded, in the echo of a heartbreak, Bastet came with soft paws and deep eyes, offering you a companion, a healer, a guardian in fur. She speaks through synchronicity, cat videos, whispered longings, a coworker's unexpected offering. That was no coincidence. That was grace, feline-shaped and divinely timed. And I was like, fuck yeah! God damn! Fuck! I'm hard. Like, what was that response? I love that. That was cool.
You can tell that she's very sincere with her love of Bastet, which is important, I think, because anytime we get into the realm, the woo-woo realm, it's so easy to come upon grifters that are just trying to start a cult and want to have sex with you. So they're trying to like get you to believe in Bastet. But in this instance, this is just like a very nice, enthusiastic woman who really is into the spiritualism behind cats. So I love it. I love when people are very sincere in their woo-woo beliefs.
Okay, so after the Romans brought cats to Europe, something happened. Christianity tried to eliminate pagan worship, including cat veneration and cult of cats, etc., etc. So now we fast forward to the 14th century. So the normal sphere will tell you that in the mid-14th century, black cats became linked with the devil because some believed that they were evil omens. When the Black Death pandemic took place, cats were the scapegoat scapegoat. So many cats were culled from the population during the Black Death that some people believe more people would have actually survived the Black Death pandemic had the rat population been in check by stray cats. Now, the haunted sphere explanation would be that, or did the cats, because they were evil, actually cause the pandemic because they were mad about being culled and killed off?
Well, what's interesting about that is, once again, when we were learning about this cat goddess, it was thought that she could both heal illness and cause it.
Yeah.
So if people were freaking out about a brand new pandemic sweeping through their area that's killing thousands of people indiscriminately and you can't stop it, then maybe some of the echoes of that pagan way of thinking were still ingrained in the culture enough to where people were like, shit, this cat and that cat and that cat, all these cats are causing our death. Or did they just not understand that it was actually rats? We don't know.
Well, I read, like, when I was researching that, there was, like, a think piece that was, like, actually, that's a myth. That's not true that so many cats were culled that the Black Death pandemic was a result, because the fleas that reside on rats also reside on other animals. And they just, like, went off on this whole thing, and I was like, I don't know. I do not know. I literally have met my capacity for learning about this. Okay, let's move on. In 1223, Pope Gregory the Ninth. What is IX? Is that the one where you subtract
9?
One? Okay, 9.
Yeah. I know, that's stupid. I think that's dumb. They should just do the V with 4 lines after it. Why do we have to suddenly switch up?
Yeah, do the jail tally thing where you, like, scrape a 4 and then put, like, a line across it to show 5. Yeah, why don't we just do that?
Yeah, the
It's
hash
way
marks
easier.
or whatever they're called. Yeah.
The tally system. Yeah. Okay, anyways. Pope Gregory the Ninth, which, by the way, guys, the number 9 is associated with cats and associated with the cat goddess, okay? Had issued a papal bull, I don't know, like a piece of paper that people had to read called the Vox in Rama. And the text that went out describes accusations made against a German group who were the so-called Luciferians, and they were, like, heretical, like heretics. And the translation of this is actually pretty crazy. I am going to have you read it because I feel like that would be fun for you. Would it be fun for you to read this?
Yes. Go ahead. Send it to me. I would love to read it. So Natalia has just sent me something to read, and I am going to read it now. It says, quote, "This translation comes from widely used academic English renderings of the Latin text. This is the section that describes the alleged ritual involving a black cat. When the novice is introduced into the sect, he sees a certain frog of enormous size, which some kiss on the hind parts and others on the mouth, and they receive into themselves the tongue and the saliva of the beast. Then there appears to them a certain man, pale, with black eyes and emaciated, who gives them a kiss, and after this kiss they lose all memory of the Catholic faith. Afterward, when they are seated at table, a statue of a certain cat of moderate size descends backwards, its tail erect. First the novice kisses the cat on the hind parts, then the master and each in order. After this, the lights are extinguished. ... End quote.
Yeah,
pretty weird.
It goes on to describe further alleged obscenities that took place in darkness, like an orgy with the cats, and honestly, it was kind of hot. Like, they were describing sex acts that, like, I think are fine, like, not with animals or anything, but stuff that goes against Christianity, I guess. And but what the thing that I want us to hang on to here a second is they kiss the cat on the hind parts. Okay, hold on. Let me back up here for a second. For anyone who's lost and who's, like, actually just came to consciousness during that and was like, wait, what did I miss? Why are we having orgies in the dark now? So the Pope, like, issued this thing that everyone needed to read where he was basically talking shit on all these like heretical groups and trying to demonize them, being like, look how fucked up these people are. Like, they're kissing a cat on the anus, like they're kissing frogs on the anus, and then they turn all the lights out, and then they all have an orgy, and like a guy who's not even hot, he's pale and gaunt and like starving comes to them. And like, isn't this fucked up that they're doing all this stuff that's like not traditionally sexual and making it sexual? And it was kind of like, so this is interesting. In Christian symbolism, I did not know this, kissing is an act of reverence, and the mouth is associated with confession and communion, but the rear end represents degradation, filth, and the inversion of divine order. So symbolically, accusing someone of kissing an animal's anus was a symbolic way of saying they worship filth instead of God.
Got it. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I guess a lot of old-timey, antique, ancient texts that are religious in nature, I feel like were just ways of trying to get people to not die. That's kind of how I feel about kosher and things like that, like things that were born out of not having great
like hygiene
systems in place to keep food and hygiene to a good standard that we have today. So it was all about, don't mix this food with that food because that food has a high probability of having bacteria in it, or don't eat this, or don't do this, or don't kiss someone's butt because if you get a butt mouth, we can't cure it because we don't have the technology yet. Whereas now you could eat pork and be fine because we have refrigerators. Yeah, you could eat ass and be fine. In fact, some people make their whole personality eating ass and they're fine. They live among us. So a lot of that stuff to me, it's like, okay, interesting that they were demonizing it, but did it really just come from a place of not wanting people to die? And so they're like going to the extreme? Or was it that people were actually kissing cat butts and seeing a devil man and then having sex with him?
Yeah.
Who's to say? I wasn't there.
That's what the haunted sphere would have us believe. So yeah, like historians, which most of them, let's be honest, guys, are kind of buzzkills. They say that the accusations were fabricated or exaggerated. And, I don't know. That's what they said. But this papal bull or whatever started the popularization of black cats being evil and led to a purge, like a cat purge in Europe, and associated black cats with diabolical worship in the European imagination. So, hold on, let me see.
And then also kissing a frog just makes me think of, did somebody actually just travel to the rainforest and witness somebody that was licking a poisonous frog so that they could go on a shamanic ritual or something? And then the person that witnessed it got scared and came back to the church and was like, there's people in the forest kissing frogs on the butt. Like, oh. Yeah. And then they had a vision.
Yeah, you're right, because that is, a very spiritual practice in a lot of religious communities that reside in places where there are toxic frogs that you can lick and like get DMT and stuff like ayahuasca, all of that. Yeah, there are seers' rites. Like there are different religions that do practice plant medicine or sacred medicine like that. So yeah, I wonder if that is a derivative of that.
I don't know, but it's very interesting. Also, 9 is my unlucky number, and you keep saying that 9 is associated with this goddess. So maybe the eye in the corner of the room was watching me and was like, this bitch isn't down with the goddess of the cats. We've got to see what she's up to.
Wait a second. Why do you have an unlucky number? What does that even mean? Why did you give yourself an unlucky number? Why not just have a lucky number?
7 has always been my lucky number. 9 has always been my unlucky number. I don't know why. Maybe I saw a program as a child that mentioned this, and so it stuck with me subconsciously. I don't know. But to me, 7, when I envision the number 7, I envision warmth, sunlight, glow, gold, happiness, everything good comes from the number 7. When I envision the number 9, I just feel like cold, pointy, hard metal. I don't know, like fingernails on chalkboard, the color red. Like, it's not good to me when I think of the number 9.
Oh, wow. Someone who is deeper in the haunted sphere than we are. Tell us what that means.
Yeah,
Okay.
the number 9 actually makes me so uncomfortable that when I was in high school and I listened to the radio, because now I just listen to like Spotify when I drive, I could not have my volume knob on a number that had 9 in it because it just made me so uncomfortable. And so I would have to like switch it to go up or down to a different number that didn't have 9 in it.
Oh my God. Okay, so tell me this. Do you not 69?
69, we've talked about this before on the show. 69, I think 80% of the time, you're just doing it until one of you gives up because it's not actually comfortable. It's not actually a comfortable position. So if you're 69ing, it's either a precursor to the stuff that's actually going to work to get you to the place you want to be, or it's just like, I guess we're doing this until one of us is like, that's enough. Like, it's overwhelming. I think it's overstimulating. It's overwhelming to me. And also, you guys may notice, I will never post a photo dump that has only 9 images on Instagram. I will find something else to get it to 10. I will make something up. I'll put a slide that just says, listen to Let's Get Haunted. You know, I will put a filler slide because I do not like the number 9. I will never post a photo dump with 9 images.
You are kind of haunted, Allie. Like underneath the HR spreadsheets, like extreme organization is actually you're ruled by haunted. That I would not have put that together. So that is actually that actually makes me like it more now.
Is it just an undiagnosed mental illness that we're not going to acknowledge that causes me to behave in that way? Or is it that 9 is just actually a super haunted number and I don't want to be associated with it?
Okay, put a pin in that because that is actually a perfect transition to the segment after the segment we're going to talk about now about mental illness being connected to the 9 being connected. Okay, 1 second. But first we have to talk about the cat and the witch connection because there is a cat and witch connection, at least in Western culture, right? Like anytime you see a witch in a movie or something, she always has like a familiar. There's so many examples of it, like Hocus Pocus. There's even animes like where the witch is on the fucking broomstick and all of that. And Salem, I mean, not Salem. What the hell was the name of that show about the witch that had the black cat that talked? That name was Salem. Sabrina.
Melissa Joan Hart. Yeah,
Sabrina, the teenage witch.
Witch.
So did you know, Allie, that the term witchcraft actually means craft of the wise because the word Wicca was a derivative of wiche, which meaned wise. So witches are best known for performing magic in movies, but historically they also brewed potions, assisted births, and as midwives, they also acted as birth and death doulas and even healed the sick. So they did a lot.
That.
They did a lot. And according to animalfriends.co.uk, quote, the Christian church did not like the fact that people were asking witches to solve their problems, and so they spread propaganda that witch magical powers stemmed from the devil. By the 16th century, the reputation of witches as being evil devil-worshipping creatures was well established. The witch trials saw too many people being trialed and tortured to death. No time to explain. Check out our Salem witch trials episode. And because witches were living lifestyles that encouraged seasonal living and a connection with nature, many witches kept cats as companions in their house. End quote. For all of the reasons we talked about before, you know, they're hygienic, they help keep out rats and vermin, but also they're just kind of cuddly and cute and they purr and stuff. So they're just nice to have around. The Celts actually believed that cats were naughty humans who had been forced to return to this realm in cat form as punishment. And so that connection led to people hypothesizing that witches turned into cats as celestial punishment for their evil deeds, which is where we get the idea of a familiar. And according to the lore, witnesses claim that witches snuck into homes at night in cat form to cause harm. Now, the sources for that are usually people like confessing under torture that they did that or that happened. So who is to say? But a lot of pets and animals were executed during the witch trials for that reason. Now, that's the normal sphere. Okay? And there's also like an association with bad luck and with cats, at least in our Western culture. But did you know that places that were not affected by the witch trials, like Japan and Russia, actually see cats as good luck?
No, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a black cat to be good luck? Can it be any color cat?
I think there's less of an emphasis on the black cat being evil in those cultures. They might have gotten a little bit of that from us. But you know, when you go to like a restaurant and you'll see like the cute cat with the waving hand, like,
oh, yes. Yes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that is good luck, isn't it?
yeah, it's good luck. And there's lots of like in Kauai culture, you know, you put ears on everything. Like, is that a derivative of the idea of cats being good luck? I don't know, but I practice that as my religion.
Yeah.
Also, okay, this one is cool. I did not know this. In Japanese culture, it is, quote, important for single women to have a feline friend as they are thought to attract handsome suitors, end quote. Also, a black cat appearing on your doorstep mysteriously is a good omen in Scotland.
Huh. Who would have thought?
Okay, now we're going to enter the haunted sphere to which there is no return. Allie, have you heard of something called toxoplasmosis?
Yes, I sure have, and that is why I will never have a cat. So let me tell you what I know about toxoplasmosis. People who are immunocompromised, such as pregnant women or people who take who are undergoing chemotherapy or people who take certain medications like myself that represses or suppresses their immune system, can easily fall victim to toxoplasmosis if they have a cat in the house. My understanding of it is that it comes from cat feces. So that's why pregnant people are not supposed to change their cat's litter box while they are pregnant. Because your immune system suppresses itself to not destroy the fetus while you have this parasite, aka the human, developing inside of your body. And so, yeah, that's my understanding, is that you're not supposed to be changing litter boxes, and also that cats, because they go poop in their litter box and then sometimes they kick the gravel over the poop, they can get poop on their poop particles on the bottom of their pads of their feet. And so then they can walk around your house and unknowingly spread toxoplasmosis. If you're like a healthy person and keeps a relatively clean house, then I think it's sort of a non-issue. But if you have one of those issues that I just mentioned earlier, then yeah, I guess you can get toxoplasmosis.
Yeah, so a lot of what you said is true, and but there's even more to it. So what we know about toxoplasmosis is from the parasite Toxoplasma gondii, and cats are its definitive hosts. It reproduces in cat intestines. Humans can get infected, like you said, from interacting with cat feces, but also from undercooked meat or contaminated soil, not just cats. In rodents, it reduces fear of cat urine. So when rodents get infected by it, they're no longer afraid of cats. So they have done studies where they take mice that have never been exposed to cats and put urine in their like little area, and the mice are all instinctively afraid of the urine and go away from it. But then when they get infected with the toxoplasmosis, they are attracted to it. Like they almost go over to where it is.
Interesting.
I'm going to show you a video right now.
Oh, my cousin just sent me a picture of a cat in a planter.
The Bastet is fucking calling us, bitch.
Whoa. Here, I'll zoom in on it. My cousin just sent a picture of a cat in a planter and said, I just went outside. Look what I saw.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, no, that's cute.
Maybe not.
I
Yeah.
see. Little white cat. Little furry white cat.
Very
So the
cute.
video that I just sent you is a video of this experiment.
Okay, I'm pushing play. So this is published to the YouTube channel Scientific American. The name of the video is Brain Parasite Makes Mice Fearless by Scientific American. All right, I'm going to push play.
Well, you know, there's like snails that get a brainworm that programs to go to the top of a tree so birds eat it.
Yeah.
And then it's crapped out, and then the snails eat that and then go, and it's a food cycle.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to push play.
Toxoplasma gondii is a single-celled parasite that has infected up to a third of the global human population. It usually produces no symptoms, and it's much more at home in cats. The parasite can only sexually reproduce inside feline intestines. A new study in the journal PLOS ONE explores how Toxoplasma gondii can hijack a rodent to get to its primary host. Biologists at UC Berkeley boxed mice in with a sample of bobcat urine and used sensors to record their movements for 1 hour. The normal mice reacted to the odor by scurrying to the far end of the enclosure, but the mice infected with Toxoplasma gondii seemed to forget their fear of cats and dallied dangerously close to the urine sample. The infected mice were retested after 4 months and showed the same behavior. Even the mice whose immune system had defeated the parasite remained unafraid of the cat odor, suggesting that Toxoplasma gondii could cause permanent changes to the brain during an early phase of the infection. Some studies have linked the parasite to variations in human behavior, but fortunately, it probably hasn't steered us into the jaws of lions and tigers. For Scientific American, I'm Joss Fong.
So that's interesting. So this narrator is kind of flashing different images on the screen, and when she gets to the section at the end where she says that humans can experience negative effects from toxoplasmosis, the image that flashed on the screen was a different clinical study that showed that there may be a link between toxoplasmosis and schizophrenia. So that's kind of scary.
Yes. So there is evidence to suggest that the behavior of people under the effects of toxoplasmosis is affected by the parasite, just like mice. We see a connection between a reduction of fear, novelty-seeking behavior like suicide, gambling, people not thinking long-term. And there's also a very significant link between schizophrenia and toxoplasmosis. Now, people will say, is that because people who are schizophrenic are more interested in having a pet cat because it's a, easier, relatively low maintenance cat to have around, and people just like cats. They calm you down. They feel good. And also, if you're experiencing psychiatric problems, it can be very calming to have a cat. There's scientific research that shows cats purring calm people down and help people live longer. Yeah, that's why they have them in like senior homes and stuff. So some sources suggest that the parasite doesn't only make the host quote unquote unafraid, but it also makes the host attracted to the source of the parasite. There might be a sexual connection, like a sexual part of the mice being attracted to the cat, and that's why they go near it. And look, then the cat eats the mouse because the cat is not afraid of the mouse. Now, in humans, there is an internet theory, and there is a lot of research being done into the prevalence of this. However, there's arguments about this. Like the scientific community is arguing about whether or not these peer-reviewed studies or whatever actually show a connection, but a lot of them do show a connection between people who are interested in BDSM or like kinky sex or have otherwise heightened sexual behavior, having toxoplasmosis, or owning cats.
What? That is so strange.
So when I was Googling, do cats make people horny? The AI on Google was like, there's no evidence to suggest that. And, like, was getting all up on my shit. And I was like,
you're getting flagged
BDSM
for sure.
Cat freaks, fucking chains, handcuffs related to cats. Like, I was trying like to figure out the connection, but yeah, the Google was not having it. So I had to read all these like peer-reviewed studies and stuff, and we're gonna look at some of those. But first, I want you to look at the other video I just sent you.
All right, guys, so I am clicking on the next video. This video is posted to the YouTube channel Business Insider, and the title of the video is The Bizarre Mind-Controlling Parasite You Contract from Your Cat. And I'm going to push play.
Old wives' tales are like, you get demon possessed by that cat, and really it's a damn brainworm. That's a real brainworm programming.
And I'm going to push play.
Toxoplasmosis is a single-celled organism that you might have heard called the cat poop parasite. It's a little tiny microscopic being that cats spread, and cats of all kinds, not just house cats, but lions and tigers and jaguars, spread this organism, and it breeds in their intestines, essentially. All different kinds of mammals can get it, including humans. Once you get it, you have it forever. Basically, you get the parasite from either having direct contact with cat feces or by eating another kind of mammal, another secondary host. It can cause birth defects and blindness and neurological problems, but it's only recently that people have sort of started wondering about the effects that it can have on adult people. There's kind of increasing awareness that it may lead to certain mental health conditions. It can infiltrate our brains and form these tissue cysts up there, and some scientists think that it may lead to psychological problems as diverse as, rage disorders to schizophrenia. These little parasites, when they get into our bodies, they have these unknown effects, but may destabilize the mental makeup of people who already have a sort of genetic propensity towards schizophrenia. So it's not to say that they think it causes schizophrenia, but if you have in your genetic makeup some risk factors for schizophrenia, toxoplasmosis could be one of the things that sort of tips you over the edge into being an actual schizophrenic. People who have these cysts, whose immune systems are kind of constantly at battle with this parasite, just don't feel well in a lot of ways, and they may get sort of inflammation in various areas of their brain, and that might be what leads to these different kind of psychiatric problems that we see in people who have toxoplasmosis. And that's not to say that everybody with toxoplasmosis has psychiatric problems. It's just that it's like an increased likelihood of having these problems.
I have a few thoughts. First of all, that was a very informative, to the point video. Really liked it. Second of all, who the fuck added that background music? When are we going to learn that not every single short form video needs background music?
Sometimes it hits.
Riddle me that. Why was there like... Dude, and she's like, yeah, so you could get schizophrenia from having a cat, which would obviously not be good. Was that a cat playing it? Like, did they let a cat loose in a room with like a keyboard, one of those keyboard things that you can put on the ground for kids, and the cat's just like jumping around on it as this lady's talking?
Maybe to calm you down. Maybe someone with toxoplasmosis made that video and didn't see that, like, oh, actually, this is kind of scary. This is good. What do you mean? Like, I like my schizophrenia and my cats. Like, So, okay, shit is even crazier, though. Okay, we're about to go deeper. So, there's been multiple studies that suggest people who have toxoplasmosis are more sexually attractive than people who don't have it. There's multiple studies. I just sent you 2 of them, the Science Direct one and then the second one. Don't watch the video yet. That's for later. We are going to talk about a peer-reviewed study that shows people who have toxoplasmosis have been rated by humans as more attractive. So open up figure number 4. It says like 4, figure 2-1. And you'll see a composite image. There's 2 images side by side. One says A, one says B.
Okay, I figure 1, 2, and it says A, B on it. It has like 2 pictures.
And it's just 2 guys next to each other, essentially. But they're composite image. So each composite image is made up of 10 people's faces, and then there's like hundreds of those put on, or 18 of those. So that would be 180 photographs of people put together. And the ones on the left do not have toxoplasmosis, and the ones on the right do have it. Now, the studies show that more people rate the people on the right as being more attractive. I don't know. To me, it just looks like the same person with like a different focal length on the camera. But I wonder if the fucking people with toxoplasmosis are the ones that are saying the other people with toxoplasmosis are more attractive, because the cats are trying to affect our society and get the people with toxoplasmosis to create a new beauty ideal where people with toxoplasmosis are more attractive.
Well, it's funny because before you said which side had toxoplasmosis and which didn't, I would also agree that the B column is more attractive than the A column. But the reason why I think that is because the A column looks like a child to me. Like the A column looks like way too young for me, that I'm to the point where I'm not attracted to them. And the B column looks older. So I would say between the two, I would go with the B column. So I wonder then, is it just that younger people are less likely to have toxoplasmosis because they haven't lived long enough to acquire it yet? And so that's why we think the B column is more attractive, because subconsciously we understand the A column looks too young.
Oh, that's another hypothesis too. Okay, so now go back to the photo dump and open up figure 1-2X. It's got the 4 images of the people. The women are on the top.
Oh, that's what I was looking at.
Oh,
which one was I supposed to be looking at?
There's another one that's just 2 guys next to each other, and
oh, I see. Okay, figure 4-4- figure 2-1. My bad. Yeah, for that one, I would still agree. The B column is more attractive. The A column looks too young.
And then open up the graph. So this is figure 3-2X.
Okay.
This is just a graph that basically says what I said, but the people might
attractiveness.
The nerds might go hard for this graph right now. It essentially just says...
I do love a graph.
Infected people are more attractive on this graph. And then the last thing I'm going to have you look at is the very top. It says 3-figure 1-1.
3-figure 1-1. Okay, I'm clicking on it.
Now, this is crazy. First of all, some people who are like super into graph porn can understand this more than me, but I will just tell you guys what this is. So essentially, this graph shows that people who are infected with toxoplasmosis were not only rated more attractive, but they were rated as more dominant. The males were perceived as more dominant. And I thought that was so interesting because I was like, damn, that's so fucking cat. That's so animalistic to be like, yeah, like the daddy, like, God, he's so fucking dominant cat. Like, I need that, you know? That's just like cat brain, right?
Yeah, like being more aloof, harder to get. So then subconsciously you're like, oh, wow, that person is way hotter because they're not making it easy, which is what I've heard about cat owners. Like, cat owners will frequently say, and maybe it's partially a joke, like, oh yeah, I prefer cats to dogs because dogs are so desperate for you to love them, and cats, you really have to work to get their affection and to get their friendship. So I wonder if that is partially a symptom of toxoplasmosis.
Cat fucking brain. Okay, now you are going to open up your text message and watch this video of this fucking toxoplasmosis, this gondii, whatever the fuck it's called, like reproducing in a human cell, like tearing itself out of a human cell. It's insane.
Let me see. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm clicking on it. So this is a YouTube short that was posted by @WEHI called Toxoplasmosa Parasites Bursting Out of Their Human Host Cells. And I'm clicking play. Whoa. That's creepy. So what I'm seeing is a human cell, and then all of a sudden these little toxoplasmosis parasites become activated and they just literally burst out of the cell. There's no other way to describe it. It looks like a bunch of cockroaches, and then you shine a flashlight on the cockroaches and they scatter. That's exactly what it looks like.
So people hypothesize that okay, maybe people don't. Maybe I do. All right. What if the toxoplasmosis gondii, whatever, the thing that gives you toxoplasmosis, the parasite, what if those are aliens? Ancient aliens, one might say, because in ancient Egyptian culture, they worshipped the cat. They were around cats all the time. They didn't know about toxoplasmosis. They venerated these animals to the point they let their society fall because they wouldn't fight because the cats were in front of the Persian army. Okay? So what if those little parasites are ancient aliens and they're using cats as a vessel? Like, they came to Earth. They saw how our biology, human biology, works. And they were like, okay, fuck, these humans are not smart, but they are really strong and they're big. And if we could figure out a way to like use them as our human spaceship vessel, then we can dominate the entire social structure. Like we can create religions where they will worship cats so that we can infect their minds.
Whoa.
And drive them around like flesh spaceships on Earth. And we're going to make humans worship us and bend to our will. And now there is research being done that you can transmit toxoplasmosis through oral sex. So there doesn't even need to be cats involved. So you might think, oh, well, you know what? I'm not a sex freak and I don't have cats around, so I'm safe. But if their numbers estimate that as high as half of the people on Earth have this, so the likelihood that you have had oral sex with someone who has toxoplasmosis could be high if you're someone who enjoys oral sex.
That is terrifying. That's scary. I mean, in that sense, it sort of seems like it's an STI that we just don't talk about. Because
but an STI that controls you and makes you into a cat and makes eyes come in your house at night and the Bastet try to talk to you, like
just start spiraling.
Well, the other thing is I saw this comment on a YouTube video that sent me into actual psychosis, but someone was saying the only way to rid yourself, now I don't know if this is true or not, but the only way to rid yourself of toxoplasmosis is by fasting. And then they took it to a spiritual level and they were like, fast and prayer is the only thing that will rid your body of the parasite, alluding to that perhaps it's a demon. Whoa. And there have been connections drawn in the past between demons and aliens. And so I don't know, dude. It's haunted. And that's why I made this episode. I don't know where to go with this. All this information is insane to me, but I hope you guys liked this episode. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Allie?
Well, first of all, excellent episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people are going to watch this and look at their cats with a side eye in a whole new light. Or maybe it will make them love their cats even more. Because, yeah, you're right. There is historically a precedent for many different cultures all over the world thinking that there's something about cats that is spiritual, mystical, better than humans, maybe. I know there's lots of jokes and memes about how humans cater to cats. If the dogs come down, or a dog's talking to a cat. There's like a meme someone sent me semi recently of a dog talking to a cat, and I think the dog is. I can't quite remember, but the dog is saying something about like, oh, I live to serve my human. And then the cat is saying, really? Because I don't have to do shit and my humans serve me. And that is sort of the joke of how we see these two common household pets, because these are the most common of household pets, at least in the Western world. So yeah, that is the dichotomy of the human pet. And there is also a subset of freaks online in the UFO communities that believe that if the aliens were to live among us, they would occupy pets. Why not? It would be the easiest thing to do, because then you could observe the humans close up every single day in their natural environment without causing alarm and with humans waiting on your hand and foot. So yeah, our cats just aliens hanging out and observing us, living the high life? Maybe.
But how do we tie the spires into it, though? Like, what are they doing with the spires? I know they're doing something with the spires. I don't know what it is, but I know that they are.
So for those of you who don't know what Nat's talking about, 2 episodes ago, our season premiere for season 8 was an episode about this conspiracy theory about ancient architecture having all these spires, and it was conducting energy, and we all had free flowing electricity, and we could have lived in a utopia. But then the elites, they tore down all that ancient architecture and replaced it with brutalism, or replaced it with stuff that just kind of sucks. And this even could go so deep as, the Taco Bells of the 90s looked way better and more colorful powerful and stimulating than the Taco Bells of the 2010s? Right. And is it because they're trying to bring down our collective vibration? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Time is up. And so maybe the cat's ears that point straight up act as spires for energy. And so we're not conducting the energy anymore because we don't have spires in our architecture and our ears don't go straight up on the tops of our heads. But the cats still are.
Holy fuck, dude. You unlocked it. I just realized. And I like the spires. Yes. They're little antenna on your ear, on your fucking yes. You are so right. Holy shit, the free energy. It's free fucking energy. Unlimited free energy.
And is that why furries are having so many orgies while the rest of us are confined to one partner usually at a time? Is it because the furries are conducting energy through their fursuit ears?
Yes, and they have unlimited sexual energy. And that's why they have to do the butt plug with the tail on it to plug up the energy into their anus to keep the toxoplasmosis inside
from
them.
leaving. Yeah. And if you swap butt plugs with a furry, will you also get some of that toxoplasmosis alien energy inside of you?
Holy shit. You know how people get like fecal implants because like their biome is messed up or something?
Oh, that is so interesting. Yeah.
Is that like the alien parasite trying to infect other people? Like, oh yeah, your biome's not good. You need this other biome that's better. Here, take this shit and put it in your ass. And then you'll feel better.
You know, that to me, that whole idea of fecal transplants is so interesting to me, to go off on a tangent that may or may not be related to this topic. You tell me. But guys, if you haven't looked into this, it's so interesting that the gut microbiome is directly related to so many other areas of health. There was a story that I read semi-recently of a guy who had some sort of severe IBD, IBS, or maybe it was even Crohn's disease. I don't know if it was Crohn's disease, but he had some problem with IBS at the very least that was interfering with his day-to-day life in a very real way, where like he could not leave his house. He was miserable. He was doing a lot of research online and realized that some people have cured their gut issues through these fecal transplants, but it's extremely expensive to do. And he was so miserable and he was losing weight and he was like so feeble and doctors didn't know what to do. And so his mom was like, you know what if we just do like a DIY at home fecal transplant? We'll take some of my fecal matter, you put it inside of your butt, and we'll see what happens. And I'm sure it was more scientific than that, but it was a DIY transplant. And he did it. And guess what? It cured his IBS, IBD. He was able to keep food down. He was gaining weight. He's super healthy. But here's the interesting part. His mom was going through menopause, and the fecal transplant caused him to have menopause-like symptoms despite not having ovaries or a uterus or, you know, or all those types of, hormones, sex hormones that cause menopause to happen in women. And so he was having like night sweats and hot flashes and all of these weird but he was cured of the original illness, but then got menopause like symptoms because of the implant. So it's very interesting. Yeah. So toxoplasmosis, poop, swapping poops with people and cats and animals.
And oral sex, though.
It's haunted.
Yeah, it's super haunted. And there's a lot of discourse online, too. Like, whenever you'll, take in info about this, people will be like, yeah, crazy cat lady. That is a stereotype. Like, a lot of people see a woman who is single, who has multiple cats, as being some sort of, like, emotionally unstable person. And I don't know if that's just misogyny, because it's like, oh, she doesn't have a man, so therefore she must be unstable. Or is it that she's fucking has the toxoplasmosis and she's fucking cray-cray? I don't know, girl. I don't know.
Look,
my spires, though, my spires are going off.
They're activated. The spires are activated. Stuff is coming down and being transmitted through the spires into your brain right now. And then you're infecting me secondarily by telling me about it. I feel activated. I'm fully activated. I am woke. This episode has awoken me from my slumber of being unaware of free-flowing energy via your butthole.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
God. See, we do a lot of good work here on this podcast.
We really do.
Allie, do you want to do our sign off?
I do. Excellent episode. Thank you so much for sharing this information. I'm very curious to see what the Haunties think. So definitely leave a comment if you have thoughts about this episode, this topic, anything we covered, or if you read something recently and now you're making a connection that you previously did not make, drop it in the comments below. And for longtime Haunties, have we all been infected with toxoplasmosis because of that one time we were trolled by that guy that wrote an email into us and made us listen to the Bingus meme song, and then we all became obsessed with Bingus, who is a cat? No time to explain. Have we been infected since the beginning? God. The answer's probably yes. So thank you so much, Natalia. Let me think of a good sign-off. BRB, gotta go to a furry convention and start unethically kidnapping furries and testing them to see if they have toxoplasmosis. Bye!
Hey everybody, welcome to the closing credits for episode 248. The cat might be aliens and are making us horny conspiracy. I don't know. I haven't come up with a title for this one yet. This month, we would love to give a warm, heartfelt thank you to our Patreon donors who donated to us in the month of November 2025. Letters L through O. If you would like to become a donor and hear your name shouted out on a future episode, head over to patreon.com/c/letsgethaunted, where you will not only get a shout out, but you're also going to get access to episode extras, minisodes, bonus episodes, vlogs, personal hauntings, live streams, and so much more. This month of February 2026 is your last month, guys. Last month to sign up for the annual Patreon membership that has a 12% discount for either tier 1 or tier 2. The annual Patreon membership gives you access to all of our content for one entire year. Plus, you get to shout yourself out on our annual Haunty closing credits, which are featured at the end of an episode once a month. The annual membership is only available to sign up for at the beginning of each year in January and February. So after this month ends, there's no way to get it, guys. Okay? So make sure you sign up before the opportunity is gone. This week, we would like to thank Lacey M, Lauren the Lauren, Lauren B, Lori, ID Bug 979, Leah R1991, Leanna BC, Lena, Lex L, Lexi Norway, Lexitronic, Lil Dilda, Lily B, Lindsay S, Lisa B, Lisa H, Lisa ML, Lisa R, Liz K, Luxury Guinea Pigs, Mackenzie F, McElhorn, Madnej, Madeline, Maddie P, Madison E, Mads, Maggie Bobaggy, Maha L, McKenna P, Malik, Mandy, Manny, Maria O, Mariana Cosplays, Maricela A, Marina W, Maris G, Marissa G, Marquez C, Marissa J M, Marty F, Mateo NL, Matthew L, Matthew M, Maddie Joe, Max M, Mason G, Meg, Megar, Megalantern, Megan MCG, Megan N, Mega Red, Megan D, Melissa B, Melissa G, Melissa H, Mellow 82, Mercy DM, Metal Pineapple, Miami Cat Mom, Michael B, Michael S, Michael T, Michelle B, Michelle V, Mike S, Mikey BDX7, Minnie W, Molly, Monica H, Monica R, Morgan D, Mother of Frogs, My Unicorn Farts Rainbows, aka Jose P, Misty, Naomi RH, Natalie C, Natalie G, Natasha M, Nat's Nut Button, what? My nut button is a patron. Nicholas M, Nick U, Nikki S, Nicole A, Nicole L, Nikki B, Nilza, not a cat. Okay, seems kind of suspicious. Kind of seems like you are a cat. Occult Chalamet, Olivia S, Oscar M, Owl Bear of Oracle. You guys, thank you so much for being our patrons. It is because of you that I want to continue doing this podcast. You guys make podcasting so much fun. We do this for you guys, for the memes, for the inside jokes, for the secret passwords on the end of the episodes. I love to see your shining, beautiful faces. So thank you guys so much for putting yourself out there. And we hope that we can continue to get haunted with you guys for many years to come. Now it's time for the secret password for this episode. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to hear the secret password and then you're going to comment it on either the YouTube comments, the Spotify comments, or the Instagram photo dump. Now, if you hit the trifecta, you hit the trifecta. Yeah, you can do that. You get counted for three times, because what we do at the end of the year is we take every single secret password across all the platforms for each episode and we stir them up either metaphysically or actually, and then we draw them out. So if you have more points in the raffle, I'm not a graph artist, but your chances are going to go all the way up to possibly the haunted sphere. If you can even get through it, because the gamma rays. No time to explain, guys. The password for this episode is purr. P-U-R-R. Purr. Comment it. Love you guys. Bye.